It was our wedding anniversary. I had a sudden heart attack on the way home, but my wife, who worked in the emergency department, hung up on my call for help. When I woke up in the hospital, my wife frowned and said, "Aren't you still alive and well?" I told you I'm busy. Don't call me if it's nothing. Just now, my wife's friend posted a photo of them together on social media, captioning it, "Thank you, Dr. Emily Green, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to celebrate my birthday." So, her being busy was spending time with her friend. With a bang, the car crashed into the roadside fence. I clutched my chest and used the last of my strength to step on the brakes, minimizing the potential damage. My heart was throbbing painfully, and I could barely breathe. Today was my wedding anniversary with my wife. I had been on a business trip that week and had rushed back after finishing my work early, but I didn't expect to have a heart attack on the way home. My hands trembled as I tried to take the medicine out of my pocket, but I couldn't find the bottle after searching for a long time. The medicine? Where was my medicine? I always carried it with me, always kept it in my chest pocket. How could it be gone? My heart was hurting more and more, and I vaguely remembered my wife touching my clothes before I left in the morning. I gasped for breath, leaning over the steering wheel, and mustered my strength to pick up my phone and dial the emergency contact number. Help! Help! My weak voice was drowned out by the noise outside the window. What is it? I'm busy, Emily Green said impatiently. I opened my mouth but couldn't say anything. She waited a few seconds, lost patience, and said, "Jack Thompson, talk. I don't have time to mess around with you." I managed to say, "Call an ambulance." She hung up the phone. All I could hear was the cold, mechanical sound. Beep, beep, beep. My heart sank completely, and I lost hope. My hand fell. I lost all my strength. ND passed out. I woke up in the hospital. A kind passerby had saved me shortly after I passed out and called an ambulance for me. That's how I got my life back. Thinking of my wife's indifferent attitude, I couldn't help but feel a chill in my heart. Reason told me that as an emergency room doctor, she might be saving someone, that she had more important things to do, and that as her husband, I should understand her. However, after seeing David Brown's post on social media, my mind went blank, and reason was completely shattered. In the photo, the two were leaning close together intimately, smiling brightly at the camera. David Brown, "Thank you, Dr. Emily Green, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to celebrate my birthday." He commented below, "This is the best birthday cake I've ever had." Emily Green replied, "As long as Mr. Jiang doesn't mind it." My hands trembled with anger, and I could barely hold my phone. Today is our third wedding anniversary. This is what you call busy? This is what you call important? In the 2 years of marriage with Emily Green, she had ditched me countless times to see David Brown. Last Valentine's Day, I cooked a table full of food and waited for her to get off work. It wasn't until almost 10 o'clock in the evening that she called, "Ethan, I have something to do tonight, so I won't be home for dinner." I thought she was working overtime. "Then I'll heat the food and take it to the hospital. Don't go hungry so late." Before I could finish speaking, I heard a man's voice from the other end. "Sarah, are you done with the call? Come and see what gift I've prepared for you." My eyes widened, and I closed my mouth. Emily Green chuckled dryly, "No need, you eat it yourself and get some rest after you're done." Similar things had happened many times. David Brown was unrestrained by nature and loved all kinds of extreme sports. Skydiving, bungee jumping. Emily Green was deeply attracted to him by this. These were all things I couldn't give her, and she always had only one excuse to shut me up. We're good friends who have known each other for many years. Don't overthink it. The door opened, and Emily Green walked in, frowning and looking me up and down, a look of impatience in her eyes. "Aren't you still alive and well?" I told you I was busy this morning. Don't call me if it's nothing. Can't you be considerate of me? I'm not as free as you are. My heart sank little by little. I gritted my teeth and said, I had a heart attack. You know I have congenital heart disease. So what? It's not like it's the first time you've had an attack. Emily Green scoffed, her gaze on me harsh and merciless. This disease of yours can't be cured anyway. It's normal for it to recur. Do I have to rush to your side every time you have an attack? Jack Thompson, can you be more mature? I was so angry that my head went blank, and I pointed at her with a trembling hand. What are you busy with? Busy celebrating David Brown's birthday? Her face stiffened. How do you know? After a moment of silence, Emily Green returned to her disdainful look. Yes, I went to celebrate his birthday. You're not going to die anyway. What's there to compare? I was breathing rapidly. The nurse hurried over, frowning and scolding. Dr. Emily Green, don't stimulate the patient anymore. Please leave. Her face was livid as she walked out. I said with some difficulty, gritting my teeth, one word at a time, Emily Green, we're getting a divorce. I'd had enough. Her steps faltered, and she turned around in shock. Emily Green, in her high heels, walked angrily towards me. Jack Thompson, haven't you made enough of a scene? I've made it very clear to you. He's my best friend. He's my family. How many times are you going to argue with me about him? I suddenly calmed down. After the divorce, I won't argue with you anymore. She lost all patience and slammed her hand on the table. We've been together for so many years. I've never disliked you. What exactly do you want? I'm begging you to be more mature. Don't always say things in anger. I didn't know when she had become like this, irritable and easily angered, and she didn't seem willing to listen to me patiently. I helplessly tugged at the corner of my mouth. I'm tired. These words completely infuriated Emily Green. She angrily grabbed the glass on the table and smashed it on the ground. Do you even have a conscience? I've taken care of you for so many years and never said I was tired. What are you tired of? People like you are just as selfish as your parents, only caring about yourselves and not thinking about others at all. My body swayed, and I looked up in surprise. Emily Green's expression froze, and a trace of guilt flashed in her eyes, but it disappeared in an instant. She stubbornly raised her head. Reflect on yourself. The sound of the door closing was deafening in the quiet ward. I lowered my head, feeling endless sorrow in my heart. Not long after I was born, I was diagnosed with congenital heart disease. This disease was almost incurable, and living was a money-consuming machine. My parents threw me on the street while I was still in swaddling clothes, leaving me to fend for myself. I grew up in an orphanage, without relatives or friends. I first met Emily Green on a distressed afternoon. I had a heart attack and collapsed in the lobby of a shopping mall. Bystanders formed a circle, but no one dared to step forward. Emily Green was the one who appeared at this time. She performed CPR on me before the ambulance arrived, saving me. Later, we met again at a charity event downtown. She chatted with me enthusiastically and asked me out. 2 months later, she confessed her love to me. At that time, I was very inferior because of my illness and rejected her. She didn't give up because of this, but often ran into me near my workplace during her days off. Over time, I was moved by her persistence and enthusiasm. When Emily Green art about my experience, she cursed angrily, "Your parents are too selfish, giving birth to you but not taking responsibility. People like that have no conscience at all." She knew that this was my eternal pain. The person who once promised to stay with me for life, to be together forever, was now rubbing salt into my most painful wound. I left the hospital after finishing my 4-drip that day. David Brown posted another photo of the two of them on social media. I guessed Emily Green wouldn't be coming back tonight. There was still a dog at home, and it would starve if I didn't go back. It was a golden retriever named Sunny. On our first anniversary, Emily Green gave me this dog as a birthday gift. It was also the last time I received a gift from her. But Sunny was nowhere to be found at home. I searched the whole house and all the places it usually went, downstairs, but I couldn't find it. I panicked immediately. I had no choice but to call Emily Green again. The phone rang only once before the other end hung up. I dialed back again. Emily Green said impatiently, "Are you done? Can you stop calling me now and then? I don't have time to mess around with you." I asked coldly, "Where's Sunny?" "What, Sunny?" She suddenly paused, and after a long while, she cleared her throat guiltily. "Of course Sunny is at home. Where else would it be?" I couldn't bear it any longer. "Emily Green, I'm at home right now, and Sunny is gone." Emily Green was stunned. "Why are you yelling? Do you think yelling will help me find it? It's just a dog. Where can it run to? It must have gone downstairs to play." David Brown's annoyed voice came. "What's he calling about again? It never ends." She said softly, "My dog seems to be lost." David Brown scoffed. "What dog is lost? It's probably just an excuse for him to get you to go back. Besides, even if it's lost, it's just a dog." I bit my lip. "If anything happens to Sunny, I'm not done with you." I left these words and hung up the phone. I did and dare to waste any more time and immediately went to the property management to retrieve the surveillance footage. It turned out that Sunny had been cooped up at home for a week and was bored, so it sneaked out when Emily Green opened the door in the morning. She saw Sunny running out, but she didn't care. I was so angry that my teeth were itching. While watching the surveillance footage, I posted missing dog notices in the neighborhood group and on social media. I finally finished watching the surveillance footage at dawn. Sunny played downstairs for a while, then chased a stray dog out of the neighborhood. My heart sank heavily. I could only silently pray in my heart that it would come back safe and sound. Someone finally replied in the middle of the night. "There was a golden retriever that was hit by a car at the intersection this morning. I don't know if it's your dog." My head exploded, and I could hardly hear anything. I couldn't believe it. I had only gone on a business trip, and when I came back, my dog had turned into a pile of bloody flesh. I still remember when it was first brought home. It was so small, clingy, and smart. It was very well behaved and especially obedient. If it hadn't been cooped up at home for too long, it wouldn't have snuck out. After burying Sunny, I sat blankly on the sofa in the living room. If it were normal, it would probably have come over at this time, jumping up and trying to make me happy. The dog house was right next to me, and the house was unusually quiet. I didn't know how long had passed before the door was pushed open. Emily Green was back. She already knew that Sunny was dead, and a few traces of guilt flashed across her face. She said to me with rare tenderness, "Don't be too sad. Sunny wouldn't want to see you so upset either." I slowly raised my head, my voice hoarse. "Why didn't you take it for a walk? You have time to hang out with David Brown, but you don't have time to take Sunny downstairs for a couple of laps. Why did Sunny run out right under your nose, but you didn't do anything, letting it run out?" The series of questions left her speechless. Emily Green's face became increasingly ugly, and the last bit of guilt in her eyes also dissipated. She looked at me indifferently and said, "That's right, I just didn't want to care about it. It's just a dog, I don't have that much time to waste on it." I said angrily, "You should be responsible for it since you bought it. I already gave it to you, it's your dog, and it has nothing to do with me. If something happens, it's your problem." Emily Green was being unreasonable. The person in front of me had become strange, as if she had become a different person. I suddenly lost all my strength. "Let's get a divorce." She was stunned and said in disbelief, You want to divorce me over a dog? I lowered my eyes. Sonny's biggest misfortune was being with us. I said, I'll find a lawyer to draft a divorce agreement tomorrow, and I'll send it to you then. Emily Green looked me up and down with a frown, then suddenly laughed. Stop it. You know I hate it when you mention divorce every time we argue. We're all adults. Don't you even have the ability to solve problems? Calm down. I'm not coming back tonight. She picked up her bag and was about to go out again. I rubbed my forehead, looked at her back, and said faintly, this house is marital property. If you want to live in it, transfer half of the property to me. We'll each take one of the 2 cars, and that's about it. I'll move out as soon as possible. Emily Green's footsteps faltered, and her back stiffened for a moment. But she still pushed the door open without hesitation. I packed all my belongings and moved to the company housing. The next day, I sent the divorce agreement drafted by the lawyer to Emily Green. Me, see you at the county clerk's office, Marriage License Bureau, in a month. After sending it, I blacklisted her. At this time, David Brown rarely sends me a mess. Age. David Brown, it hasn't been easy for Sarah to be with you for so many years. You should be more considerate of her. David Brown, she's busy with work. It's normal to be negligent. Is it worth making such a fuss over a dog? David Brown, your health isn't good. Sarah has taken care of you for so long and never complained. Don't be ungrateful. I laughed in anger. It was as if I was a disabled person who couldn't take care of myself. I didn't know what she had taken care of me after we got married. Except when she was on a business trip, I was responsible for all the housework at home. She spent every day hanging out with David Brown except for eating at home. I thought about it. There was no point in reasoning with this kind of person. It was better to be straightforward. I replied, get lost. My colleague helped me pack my luggage, hesitating to speak. Weren't you two always very loving? She liked you so much back then. How did it suddenly turn out like this? I smiled self-deprecatingly. People change. After moving into the company housing and entering collective life, people lost a lot of freedom and no longer easily overthink. It wasn't until a month later that the calendar reminded me that today was the day to get the divorce certificate. I was going to go directly, but I accidentally came across David Brown's social media post from yesterday. The video showed a scene in a bar, with Emily Green's face flushed with alcohol, completely slumped in David Brown's arms. Jay is still the best. You won't leave me, will you? David Brown's voice was gentle. Of course, I'll never leave you. I felt disgusted. I immediately exited. After a while, I started to worry if Emily Green would be able to get to the county clerk's office, Marriage License Bureau, on time after being hungover. I unblocked her from the blacklist. I sent a message. Don't forget to get the divorce certificate today. Emily Green replied quickly, don't even think about it, I don't agree to a divorce. Then I'll file a lawsuit. I left everything to the lawyer and focused on my work. Recently, the company has an opportunity to develop in a branch office abroad. I signed up. This was a good opportunity for me. After getting off work, Emily Green was waiting downstairs at the company. When she saw me, she immediately held up an umbrella and walked over. Ethan, you didn't bring an umbrella again. Luckily, I came. It was raining heavily, and raindrops were falling with a crash. I was expressionless. What are you doing here? Her smile was a little stiff. Of course, I'm here to take you home. It's been so long, you should have calmed down. You can't keep living in the dorm. Your health isn't good, you should still go home. I glanced at her faintly. No need, I'm fine here. Emily Green's patience was limited, and the smile on her face was about to disappear. It's been almost a month. You should have gotten over your anger. I apologized to you, It was indeed my fault that I didn't take good care of it, which led to the accident. I know I was wrong. I'm not just throwing a tantrum, I want to divorce you. I frowned. Her face became even uglier. Just because of that dog? I sighed. It's not just because of Sunny, it's more because we're no longer suitable to be together. Since you're not happy with me, it's better to break up sooner and pursue what you want. Emily Green looked up in confusion, a few traces of confusion flashing in her eyes. I said faintly, after the divorce, you can go find David Brown at any time, and I won't call you anymore. Isn't that great? After hearing this, she breathed a sigh of relief. So you're jealous. It's not that serious. You can ask David Brown, there's nothing between us. He's my best friend, he can bring me different experiences, but you're my husband, you're a unique presence in my life. I sneered. I'd rather not have this kind of marriage. A few traces of confusion flashed in Emily Green's eyes. I brushed past her, rushing into the rain and running away. And what I didn't know was that Emily Green stood in the rain with an umbrella for a long time. To win the opportunity to go abroad, I worked desperately. After working overtime for several days in a row, my body couldn't hold on any longer. During the lunch break, I went downstairs to buy coffee and almost fainted at the entrance of the store. Emily Green appeared out of nowhere, supporting me from behind and asking with concern, "Are you okay? Did you relapse again?" I pushed her away indifferently. "It's none of your business." She walked forward again with dissatisfaction. "Don't be so willful, I'm a doctor." I sneered. "What does it matter to me if you're a doctor? Where were you when I had a sudden heart attack?" Emily Green's movements froze. She closed her eyes and endured it. She asked, "Have you not been eating properly lately? I told you that the company housing environment isn't good. You're so busy with work every day that you don't even bother to eat. I think you should move back sooner, move back today, otherwise, I'm worried." I avoided her hand and said indifferently, "Anyway, I'm not going to die. What's there to worry about? Go back and spend time with your childhood friend. Don't miss any big days. After all, he has so many important things going on." Emily Green finally couldn't help it. "Do you have to talk to me like this? Why can't we sit down and talk properly? Before you sign the divorce agreement, there's no possibility of us having a proper conversation." Her body swayed, and she almost lost her footing. "We've been together for so long. We've been through thick and thin. How can we break up over this little thing?" I remained non-committal. Emily Green was silent for a moment, then suddenly raised her head. "Is it because of David Brown?" I didn't say anything. She became agitated, as if grasping the last piece of driftwood in the water. "I promise you I won't see him alone anymore." "Why? LL that work?" I frowned. "You don't have to do this. There's no point in continuing this kind of marriage." Emily Green shook her head repeatedly, looking at me with expectant eyes. "I love you. You're the most important person in my life." If I had heard these words a few months ago, I probably would have been ecstatic. But now my heart was calm. It was too late. I met her gaze. Love is shown in action, not just saying nice words can undo everything. After a period of hard work, I successfully obtained the opportunity to go abroad. This was the best news in a while. In the evening, after having a celebration dinner with my colleagues, I received a message from David Brown. He asked me to meet him the next day. I was going to refuse. It was my rare day off, and I would rather lie in bed all day than meet an unfamiliar person. But David Brown seemed to have guessed what I was thinking. After a few minutes, he sent another message. "Want to know why Sarah abandoned your dog that day and went somewhere else?" We met at a coffee shop downtown. He waved to me. "Sarah was fired from the hospital 2 days ago because of a mistake at work." I frowned. "I'm not here to listen to you talk about this." David Brown said, "That day, She told me I had a fever, and she rushed over. I know you want to say, it's just a fever, take medicine, get an injection, or go to the hospital if it doesn't work, and there's no need for her to make a special trip. I raised my head, waiting for him to continue. But I just wanted her to come, to prove my position in her heart. David Brown laughed. He took out his phone and went to his social media page. I've been doing this on purpose all along. Most of these posts are only visible to you and Emily Green. I've known Emily Green for so many years, and I've never seen her care so much about another man. My brow furrowed tightly. You like her? Not really. Maybe it's just some inexplicable possessiveness. At first, I was just a little jealous of you, so I made up all sorts of excuses to ask her out. David Brown shrugged, but she's been looking for me so often lately that I'm starting to lose interest. So I've decided to give up, and you two can be together now. My eyelid twitched, and I couldn't bear it any longer, so I punched him. David Brown was free and easy by nature, and he had never lacked women around him, but he had never heard of him settling down with anyone. Emily Green was the longest-lasting one. I thought they had known each other since childhood, so Emily Green was probably different to him. I didn't expect this person to be a complete scumbag. Emily Green arrived, walking angrily towards me and slapping me in the face. Jack Thompson, you're going too far. How did Jay offend you? You hit him so hard. She moved too suddenly, and I didn't react for a moment. I raised my head in a daze. Emily Green, you're still so indiscriminate. She pursed her lips. You were the one who hit someone. Did Jay force you to hit him? What's happened to you? I doubt I mistook you for someone else. My face darkened, and I felt extremely ridiculous. In that case, it's better to get a divorce sooner rather than later. She met my gaze. Fine, you can't always be so immature. I finally got the divorce certificate. While waiting at the airport, I sent Emily Green the recording of my conversation with David Brown that day. This was the last thing I would do for her. Before I boarded the plane, the phone rang. It was Emily Green calling. I hung up and turned off the phone. The plane was going to fly for more than 10 hours, and when it landed, it would be in a foreign city. The people and things of the past were far away from me. That day, I came across a video online. The poster was very close to where I used to live, and the video showed several people fighting together. David Brown, I treated you as the person I trusted the most, and you treat me like this. A woman roared hysterically. David Brown sneered and pushed her to the ground. I never forced you, you voluntarily came to me, and you were happy during this time, weren't you? Emily Green was on the verge of collapse. Because of you, I lost my job and my marriage. Do you even have a conscience? He shrugged indifferently. That's your business. If you're willing, we can still be like before. If you're not willing, I don't have anything to say. I was surprised to finish watching the video. It was Emily Green and David Brown. They had come to this point. It took me a while to recover, and I looked through the comments section. 2 women and 1 man, it's easy to guess what happened. This woman seems to be Dr. Emily Green. She just got divorced a few days ago. That man isn't her ex-husband. He's probably a gigolo she found outside. No wonder they got divorced. That doctor from the emergency department downtown who likes to look down on people? The last time I went to the hospital, what an attitude she had. If she doesn't want to do it, she should quit sooner rather than later. Don't be angry, she was fired from the hospital last week. Good riddance, people like this don't deserve to be doctors. It turned out that after Emily Green listened to the recording, she went to David Brown to confront him and happened to see him bringing another girl home. The 3 of them started fighting in the neighborhood. I closed the video, not wanting to waste any more time on them. Whether they made up or broke up, it had nothing to do with me. The video of Emily Green fighting went viral online, and the news of our divorce also spread. Mrs. Song called me at dawn, and the first thing she did was to question me. Who told you to divorce Sarah? You didn't even notify your family. You're something. I frowned and opened my eyes groggily, and it took me a long time to realize who was on the other end of the phone. Being woken up in the middle of the night was unpleasant. I took a deep breath, suppressing my annoyance. Aunt, this is between us. As for the specific situation, you should ask Emily Green. Don't give me that crap. Sarah has suffered so much grievance being with you for so many years, and she doesn't even have a child yet. If it weren't for you, she wouldn't know how happy she would be now. Mrs. Song said angrily. She had always disliked me, and she had tried every possible way to stop our marriage back then, saying very harsh things. She said that I had congenital heart disease and didn't know how long I could live, and if I died one day, Emily Green would have to live as a widow. I almost couldn't help but laugh at the time. What era was this? Even if I died one day, could it possibly affect her remarrying? Besides, we had already discussed not having children. Emily Green said it herself, we would be child-free. How could it become my problem? In the past, Emily Green and I were in love, and I was willing to do anything for her, let alone just endure a few scoldings. No matter how harsh Mrs. Song's words were, I accepted them all and treated her like my own mother. It wasn't until last year that her attitude towards me softened. I yawned. Aunt, you've always disliked me. Now that Emily Green and I are divorced, you should be happy. Why are you so angry? After hearing this, Mrs. Song became even more angry, and she slammed the table. What mother is happy when her daughter gets divorced? Who would want their daughter to get a divorce when they're living a good life? You should say these words to your daughter, not come and blame me now. No matter what, you shouldn't have divorced without telling me. It's because you didn't have parents to educate you since you were a child that you're so willful and have no upbringing. Suddenly, there was silence. Identical accusations. I suddenly felt a pang of grief. It turned out that Emily Green had always been as unreasonable as her mother, but I had been too in love with her in the past to see it. I chew. Khaled softly. It's just that Emily Green's life has been affected now. She was fired from the hospital, and you want to find someone to cover for her. Mrs. Song. I said slowly, Emily Green and I are divorced, and I have nothing to do with you. I went abroad to get away from you, and I hope your family will stop contacting me and stop disturbing my life. Adapting to a foreign environment takes a lot of energy, and I had almost forgotten the past. A few months later, I suddenly received a text message from an unknown number. It was a photo of a month-old golden retriever puppy. The caption read, Jack Thompson, don't you think it looks a lot like Sunny? I immediately knew who it was from. Sunny immediately came to mind, and I remembered again how it looked, covered in blood. Emily Green is the kind of person who never understands how to respect others or respect life. I replied, don't get a pet easily until you're sure you can be responsible for a life. Emily Green quickly replied, don't worry, I will be responsible for it this time. You were too busy with work to even walk the dog before. How will you be responsible? Emily Green, I'm no longer a doctor. I have plenty of time. A few minutes later, she sent another message. Why didn't you explain David Brown's matter to me back then? I got angry and slapped you. Emily Green, I've blocked David Brown. I turned off my phone and stopped replying. Emily Green started texting me every day to say hello, regardless of whether I replied or not, and if I blocked her, she would just get another number. I had no choice but to get a new SIM card. I didn't expect her to follow me abroad. I don't know how she found out, but she found me outside the company building. Emily Green was standing at the entrance of the building with a dog, carefully observing every Asian face that passed by. There were only a few people who knew the address of the foreign company. I asked 2 people and got the answer. My colleague said that Emily Green was traumatized by what happened last time and was often emotionally unstable, so she came to the company building to stop people. He said helplessly, "I'm sorry, but there's nothing we can do. We didn't expect her to come abroad to block you." I sighed. "I'm causing you trouble." "It's okay. I think you should just ignore her. She can't get into the office building and can only wait downstairs. She should go back to the country in a few days." That's what I planned to do, too. A week later, she was no longer downstairs. I adapted to the pace of life abroad and made some new friends. Among them was my neighbor, Olivia White. She has a Samoyed, and I occasionally help her walk the dog when she works late. On Friday, she encountered a difficult client on a business trip and sent me another message. "Olivia White, help! Olivia White, this bald guy is too difficult to deal with. I don't think I'll be able to get back until almost dark. I'll have to trouble you again today." I replied, "It's okay, I'll take Marshmallow out later." Marshmallow is not shy and is very affectionate. Looking at it, I often think of Sunny frolicking on the grass. Suddenly, a golden retriever puppy appeared in front of me, exactly like Sunny. I almost thought I was hallucinating. But then, Emily Green was standing in front of me. "Jack Thompson, don't you think it looks a lot like Sunny?" The smile on my face instantly dropped. I said with a stern face, "No matter how much it looks like it, it's not Sunny." She looked much more haggard and walked slowly towards me, "But it's as affectionate and naughty as Sunny. Wouldn't it be nice to have it by our side to replace Sunny? Using it as a substitute for Sunny, you're still as irresponsible as before." I frowned. "Sunny is already dead. No matter what you do, you can't bring it back. The hurt that was caused won't just disappear because you feel guilty." Emily Green said helplessly, "Then what do you want me to do? I know I was wrong. Will you come back with me?" I took a step back. "No, we can't go back." She still wanted to approach, but Marshmallow suddenly jumped over, stood in front of me, and barked at her. At this time, Olivia White also came back. She waved at Marshmallow, and it turned around and pounced on her. "Weren't you supposed to be back later tonight?" I asked. Olivia White glanced at Emily Green, looked away, stroked Marshmallow's head, and said with a smile, "It ended early, so I rushed back right away." I nodded. Emily Green looked at us with a nasty expression. "Who is she? What's your relationship?" I said lightly, "It's none of your business. Stop interfering in my life." I thought that what happened that day had stimulated Emily Green, and she never appeared in front of me again. It wasn't until a long time later that I heard that David Brown had had an accident that day and crashed his car on the road while racing. Emily Green couldn't help but go back to see him. It is said that David Brown's injuries were very serious. His lower body was amputated, and he became a vegetable. He was always so carefree, but now he can only be trapped in a small hospital room. Perhaps it was a kind of retribution. Alone in a foreign country and an orphan, I had nothing to worry about. Perhaps it was this dedication that made my leader value me very much. Before the holidays, I was promoted at my new workplace. My leader gave me a short vacation, and he said in broken Chinese, "Aren't you celebrating the holidays? I'll give you a few days off to reunite with your family." I didn't tell him that I didn't have any family anymore. On Christmas Eve, I made a table full of food in my apartment, planning to celebrate the holidays by myself. I remembered that I was like this last year too, eating Christmas dinner all alone. At almost 10 o'clock, David Brown called Emily Green and asked her to go to Southside to watch the fireworks together. She didn't hesitate at all, changed her clothes and left. That night, I waited until the dishes on the table had cooled down twice, but she still didn't come back. I smiled self-deprecatingly. I put the dishes on the table. I didn't need to wait for anyone anymore. Just as I was about to eat, the doorbell rang. I opened the door, and Marshmallow jumped up and pounced on me. Olivia White was carrying 2 large bags of snacks, her eyebrows curved. I smelled the aroma coming from your place. Do you mind if we come and freeload? I rubbed Marshmallow's head twice. Of course, you're very welcome. It turned out that Olivia White's family had passed away a few years ago in an accident. Since then, I've always spent Christmas/New Year's Eve alone. Marshmallow is my only family. She blinked her eyes. At least I'm not alone this year. Fireworks bloomed in the sky, and I saw a string of beautiful colors from the window. We raised our glasses. Happy New Year!